Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Do you think I deserve entrance music? I feel like I've earned it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, well, I mean, there's music that leads into this podcast, so
Yeah, that's
in a way.
that's not it. That's not at all what I meant.
Do you
Dave.
want to provide your own?
Yeah, I'm gonna hum it right now.
Okay.
And if it's bad, we'll just assume I did that already, and you cut into it. You know?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Here we go. I'm not gonna do it. I'm definitely not doing that. I'm sorry, Dave. You really hung me out to dry on my own bit.
Yeah, all right.
you really hoisted me my own petard there. You really did. Classic Dave.
My apologies.
Dave
My
Jitsu.
apologies.
That's Dave's jujitsu. He lets you die on your own joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my power.
That is your power.
I'm like Seagal, just deflecting,
Yes.
without getting up. You
Yeah.
know, that martial
Yeah.
arts that conveniently
Yeah.
lets you be lazy.
Slowly growing a ponytail too, which I appreciate.
Oh, hi everybody.
Hi everyone.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Hypecast,
Woo.
the show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I am one of your hosts, David Bale.
And I'm the temporary other of your hosts, Adam Ganser.
Yeah, there's no mystery here. Tom's internet's out.
Yeah.
So that was actually why
Yeah.
the We Just Watched was also, he's been having internet issues on and off. So like if like, I don't know, it might keep delaying us because it happened like twice this week for him. So I don't know, I'm not gonna act mystified. This shit happens. It's like, oh, what's happening? Oh, how could this happen? It's like, oh, you mean like the internet?
You could have acted mystified. I would have enjoyed it. Just the performance of it, the theater of Dave being mystified by the internet.
There's no mystery here. The internet sometimes goes out.
Yeah, sure.
And we rely on it
Sure. Yeah.
to survive.
Yeah, and so that means Tom has not survived.
Right.
If you're looking for the full narrative, that's what it means.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Adam,
Hey,
how
Hey,
are
Dave.
you?
I'm great.
Thank you for.
I'm missing
thank
my
you for being
Dave.
there.
I need more Dave
You're
in my life.
getting it. You're getting your Dave right
That's
now.
true.
Full blast in your
Full
face.
blast, full load of Dave,
Yeah.
right in the face. That's all I wanted.
Oh, I said thank you, but I'll say thank you again for
Sure.
being on here and being our last minute co-host. And I would like you to plug things that you
Sure.
are currently doing and
Yeah.
perhaps want to tell people about.
Yeah, you bet. It's my pleasure and privilege. We are picture locked on a doc that will be out sometime this year. It's a documentary film that I believe we're going to stick with the title Sanibel.
Ooh.
So that's going to be. It's essentially about a hurricane that destroyed a sea-shelling business and like a surrounding community in Florida a couple years ago. And I really, really like it. I was a producer on it, so I have to say that. But I also do say that out of sincerity. So
I've
check
seen
that out.
I've seen the trailer. At one point, we're gonna have to slap that thing on more hype.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be fun.
It looks very exciting.
Yeah, I am really pleased with how it came out. And it's pretty much done. So I think that'll be in your hands sometime this year, we hope. Also, there's a new show that I'm doing with Maggie that's a video podcast that I believe will come out in like a month or two. It's called Lynchpins. It's basically on the filmography of David Lynch and his influence. You get to see my stupid face the way Dave is right now, and Maggie's much smarter and better face to balance it out. So
Nice.
not so bad. You'll find that on YouTube in 6 weeks or less.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Video podcast. Isn't that just a talk show?
It basically is a talk show. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, people like to listen to podcasts at work, and YouTube is a thing everyone has access to for whatever reason. You
Right.
know? So
Yeah.
You know.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, we had a good time recording the first 2 that we've done, and we're getting a few more in the can before we release.
Can you tell me the first
Yeah,
one
yeah.
you cover?
The first, so we go in order of most narratively comprehensible. You know, so so the first one we talk about is Straight Story.
Okay.
And then it spirals out of control from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, we're digging it. So
Everybody check that out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great idea. That's money in the bank.
yeah, that's just Lynch money right in my bank.
Lynch money.
Yeah,
David Lynch famously a profitable
yeah,
director.
turbo rich.
Yeah.
David Lynch.
Oh fuck, we're going to get so hyped.
Oh, we're
Adam.
gonna get really. Oh man, you don't even know.
Things are happening.
I have like hype nitrous. I'm about to hit it right now. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, hypetress. I'm about to hit it right now.
But first we have to thank some producers.
Oh, yeah.
That's the gate we have to walk through to get to Hypeville.
Mm-hmm.
And I will begin
Great.
by thanking at Nerd Numbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to A Bag Full of Bags.
Thank you.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew Howe and Andrew McGuire's Awkward Meet Cute.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew. Adam deserves more hype, McGuire.
Wow, thank you, Andrew.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you. Let me get in there, Dave.
You get in there.
I'm going to do that. Thanks to Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Thanks to Bootler Bootlesson.
Thank you.
Thanks to Brian, who Tom knows.
It's true.
I
Fair enough.
will never stop thinking that person. Like that's just. By the way, that's just Tom and Time. That's all that is. It's Time Tom. You know what I mean? It's just him from the past
Time
or whatever.
Tom.
Yeah, Time Tom. Thanks to Brockway, loves the Meat Millie.
Thank you.
Thanks to Burrito, wants you to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska because they loves y'all.
Pick it up.
Sure, pick it up. Thanks to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
Thanks to Christopher Robert Sparts Esquire.
Thank you.
And thanks to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to all of
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, this one dropped yesterday. It's in some circles, I imagine it's a big deal. This is the first trailer. It is for The Crow with one of them Skarsgård.
Another Skarsgård haunts our dreams.
Billiam, right?
Yeah. How many are there? Have we maxed out on Skarsgårds?
There is, I believe, 9.
There's so many.
There's a lot.
There's so, I thought the Baldwins overreached a bit, and boy, was
No.
I wrong.
No, Skarsgårds.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, it really is.
So this is from the director of Ghost in the Shell, the one everybody hated, and Snow White and the Huntsman. I never saw Snow White and the Huntsman. I don't think people hated Ghost in the Shell because of the directing. I think it more to do with the casting.
Yeah, I also think live action anime, we've yet to really nail that. I've never
Yeah.
seen the one that worked yet.
Yeah, this is all to say this director seems to have he's going after things that are kind of unobtainable. Like Ghost in the Shell is
Right.
man, what a lofty goal.
Right.
I would argue so is The Crow.
Yeah, I think this is I would think really hard before I signed on to do this movie.
Yeah.
You know, the expectations got to be sky high from crow heads.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Otherwise known as goths.
Yeah, or or murderinos, I believe is there.
Yeah. And they've gone. I mean, goths has kind of gone extinct, but
Sure.
I mean, and then also you really want to make sure you don't kill your actor. You really want to make sure when you're making The Crow.
That's the number one concern, I think.
Yes.
Keep 'em alive.
For this movie only.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And that's all to say, this doesn't look like it's going to be bad necessarily.
No.
But I kind of expected it to be a little more gothy, honestly.
I think that it's impossible to achieve gothy in the climate of movies we've been in over the last few years because gothy is like a decorative cake on like the icing on so many cakes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the Batman was gothy. Like so many of these like quasi superhero movies are kind of gothy now. That's the vibe, right?
This is based off a comic book as well. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all you're right. They're all a little gothy to begin with.
Can I play the one lame card? I mean, I don't know if it's lame, but I kind of felt like it's weird they went with a white guy for this part, given the pedigree. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
why? You know,
I don't know. I
That's
mean,
weird
why
to me.
make this? Like, yeah, that is. I mean, that is a consideration for sure. But it's also like, I mean, the Crow in general is like, I don't know. They must not have spent that much money on this, right? Like, this is one where I'm not sure who's going to be into this.
I don't
to
know.
begin with.
I think they're doing the right things other than that, though. Like, I think putting FKA Twigs in the movie is a good move, who I really like. I also, though, am worried now because I just want her to be okay, and this movie doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I'm like, come on, man. Like
what?
Well, FKA
Like her
Twigs.
character?
Yeah, FKA Twigs seems like she's getting typecast as a victim to me in general.
Oh,
You know,
I see what you mean.
I mean, like that might just be my limited impression, but I feel like the movie's drawing on that, and I'm like, I don't know if I want that. But I like her, so
Yeah,
I have
that
hopes.
reminds me of Elizabeth Moss. I
Right,
have the same
right.
where I'm like, men, leave her alone.
yeah,
Like, guys, just leave her the fuck alone.
let her be
Stop it.
okay. You know?
Yeah, give her a fucking day.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a combination of typecasting or what with that stuff.
I couldn't say. Really
yeah.
couldn't say.
I think with the Bill Skarsgård, I feel like is like kind of hot right now. Like he's got another thing going on.
I was gonna say,
And
what's the other thing?
or is that another fucking Skarsgård?
That's my
no,
thing.
no. He's doing fucking Boy Kills World, which is another revenge movie. That's the other kind of. He's also doing Nosferatu. Like he's kind of like
Ooh.
our.
Mm.
Yeah, he's kind of our weird guy. You know, where we're like, that's our weird guy. He's doing weird shit.
Anyone who's in an Eggers film, I'm like give them a couple years now. They deserve a few years because like I love Robert Eggers. I
Absolutely
think
same.
he's a catapult for interest to me.
Right.
Okay. Well, all
I
right.
don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to shit on this movie. It's more like the premise we've done so many times since The Crow came out. You know what I mean? Which is the general revenge. It's they did something to him, now he's going to do something back. Like I feel like we've done that so many times. The supernatural element is like it's fine. It's an added element, but it doesn't feel like it's
Have you ever played that video game Hellblade?
Hellblade. No,
Yeah,
but that
Senuous-
sounds like a video game.
Senuous Sacrifice. Like I feel like I want some of those vibes in this. You know, like right now I feel like I have like this is like the Riddler from the Batman movie, but a little lighter. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like no, I want to go full on pagan imagery here. Like I want to go weird animal heads and like go all the way, right?
I feel I feel the same way. It's sort of like when they made an Eon Flux movie and they just sort of made it normal.
Yeah.
And you're like, really? Did you not see the cartoon? Like the original Crow is like, I don't know. There's just a certain bar it set where it's like, if you're gonna remake the Crow, you kind of have to do something a little more, or like that RoboCop sequel. That's not a bad movie, but it's like you're remaking RoboCop. Like you have
Right.
to kind of go
It better
above
be
and
awesome.
beyond.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing is like the Crow has to take its own title back. You know, like
Yeah.
it needs that. You know,
Yeah, I honestly think this is one that's. I mean, they've made sequels to The Crow, but you could make another sequel. I think, which is weird to say. I'm not sure. I guess they might have had that conversation. All you can really do is have someone become the Crow again. I guess.
is the Crow is a Crow a title that gets passed around?
I don't.
Is it
know.
like Highlander?
I honestly don't know.
Okay, I
so
never
in-
saw the Crow.
Yeah, I think
you
in
know.
the sequels it's the same guy. You never saw The Crow?
No, I wasn't
good.
old enough to see it when it came out, and then the sad story about it kind of ruined it for me a bit.
Yeah. I
but-
saw it because my sister had it, and then I watched it, and then I
Sure.
knew a lot of goths, so you just sort of,
Yeah.
you just see the crow,
Tell you,
so he's sort
tell
of
you-
on.
That's how you get in the door. They ask you crowed,
Exactly.
and you're like, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You go
That's how
caw,
you
motherfucker.
become part of their society. Yeah.
Right. Then you like peck beaks at each other, and then you move in. Yeah, I get it.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is one where I'm like, I don't know. I love a world where The Crow gets remade and it's popular. I'm just not sure what we're, again, this looks good. It doesn't look bad.
I'm not ready to throw it away yet. I'm not ready for that.
Right. I'm just not sure why
I'm-
we're doing it.
I'm not ready to let it take over the city either. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it hasn't earned a triumphal entry or anything yet. Like let's see it some more. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really that thing where we've seen this work and we've seen it not work. Like, I'm sure there was a time when I heard, they were making a Blade Runner sequel, and I was like, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah.
Or like another Mad Max, and it's like, that seems like
Yeah.
a bad idea. And then they can prove you wrong. They can prove you wrong.
And both of those movies are fucking awesome still.
Yeah.
All right. Good point, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Let's talk about Atlas.
Atlas.
This is like this feels like they did a randomizer.
Mm-hmm.
For a movie. They just they said they rolled some dice.
Yep.
Because this is Jennifer Lopez
Yep.
as a mech warrior in a movie from the director of San Andreas and Rampage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I'll read you the synopsis on IMDb.
It'll be more
Because-
coherent than this trailer. I guarantee you that.
No.
Oh God, no! Really?
Well, the synopsis doesn't
Oh.
even framed as we're telling a story.
Wow.
The synopsis is a bleak-sounding future, where an AI soldier has determined that the only way to end war is to end humanity, period. That doesn't even frame it like you do a synopsis of in a bleak-sounding future, an AI. No, it's a bleak-sounding future where an AI.
Yeah.
It's like a weird descriptive, and that doesn't tell me shit.
This is the Chat GPT movie for sure.
It
Right?
kind of feels like it.
It really is. By the way, if there was ever a project where I want Jennifer Lopez to play herself, this is it.
Yeah.
I just want it to be Jennifer Lopez is Jennifer Lopez in the year
Instead-
2329. In
Yeah.
this mech suit that I'm way fucking
That would
in
be
on
amazing.
that. Amazing. Come
Instead,
on.
she plays the character Atlas.
Atlas. Get out of
I
here.
am.
Get
yeah.
the fuck out of here. No.
It also has Mark Strong and Sterling K. Brown.
I like
so
that. Sure. Okay.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna see this and I'm gonna love it. But it's not a smart movie.
God, you're
right?
gonna drag me to it. I can already
Yeah.
see it. You're
Well,
gonna
it's
waste
on
3 hours of
Netflix.
my fucking life. Yeah, but I'm gonna have to come over and watch it.
Yeah, you will.
I can already feel it. Oh,
Yeah.
It's the worst.
You know what is a mistake though?
All of this movie is a mistake, Dave. Can we just admit it? Admit it.
I mean, no.
all right, fine.
The title looks like a fucking 90s sci-fi
it really
show.
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it really does. By the
I
way,
feel like.
oh, go ahead, please, Dave.
Do you think Jennifer Lopez leaves the mech? I feel like this
Yes.
whole movie was
Yes.
J-Lo. See, I think it was J-Lo. You can do this role, and guess what? You can just sit in this chair. And you can do the whole movie from this chair with a green screen wrapped around you.
That really must appeal to her. I don't know. That's an alarming truth that is not. I can't rule it out immediately, Dave. That concerns
Yeah.
me. Also, have you played the game Titanfall? Because it really just
No.
feels like, dude, this is ripped right from that game.
Really?
Yes. And to the point where I was like, why didn't you just call it Titanfall? Honestly,
Yeah.
everything's a video game adaptation right now, which is
They
fine
didn't get
for
the
me.
rights.
Fucking from what? That's
I know, I
nothing
know.
to me. That's nothing to me. They could have done
Yeah.
it anyway.
Call it Tittenfall.
Starring Jennifer
Just-
Lopez.
Yeah.
Tittenfall. She'd be excited about that.
As General Titten. Yeah. Because again, her name is Atlas. Her first name, Atlas Shepard. Yeah, that's
Atlas.
definitely a name.
Atlas Shepard.
That is so not
My God.
like a real yeah. It I am kind of bummed because my thought, so it looks like she just crash lands on on Earth, I guess, and then it's just her in a mech suit fighting.
It looks kind of Die Hardy, honestly, where she's like stranded, like in the sense that she's stranded in a small location's got to find a way out against overwhelming odds. Like it's
All she has is a mech
suit that talks to her.
Underdog with a mech suit. Yeah, the mech suit appears to be voice activated, which is one of those things where she's like deploy secondary parachutes, and it's like by the time you finish saying that, you're gonna be pancake.
Right.
That's why we don't do this. We
Right.
don't have voice activated.
That's why you hit triangle on the controller. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like so you don't have to say this shit.
I want, because this gave me an idea for a better movie.
Great.
What if you combine this with that movie 65 and she lands in a mech suit and there's dinosaurs and she's back in time. So she has to like beat up the T-Rex and shit in a mech suit.
When you say better,
that's what I want.
That's not a movie either.
That's a better movie. J-Lo in a mech suit fighting a T-Rex. Half of that is already in this movie.
As long as she is J-Lo. I'm not letting go of that. Like, I want Ben Affleck to call her. Yeah, I want her to call him and be like, "Are you coming back? Like, what's the fucking deal,
I got the donkeys. I got donkeys here. Are you coming back?
I'm hanging out with Damon tonight. Anyway, I'll see you when you get home.
Yeah, we're going to play foosball. I got my new foosball table.
Yeah, he's a foosball guy for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Beyond doubt. Are we ready to move on to this?
I guess.
Fair enough. I think we did it right. I think we did good. I think we did. I think we're good at this job.
I think we're doing a great job.
Really good job. Yeah.
Let's talk about the first Omen.
Sure.
So they got the poster down. I don't know if you've seen the poster, but they did the fucking poster for the Omen, basically the original. That excites me. This is so we covered the teaser, and this is the trailer. This is from a good director, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a slightly unique feeling and looking film in a way that was like, well, that's exciting, visually.
Yeah, if you saw the first teaser for it, it's like an entire sequence in reverse with like a really cool song.
That was cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think this will be good. It's weird saying that because on paper it's not. I've seen the Omen and all the sequels. Have you watched? How much Omen have you watched?
I've watched no Omen. I've never had any interest in it at all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Arkasha Stevenson is the director, by the way, and it's her.
Okay.
It's their directorial debut.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You should watch. Obviously, the Gregory Peck one is phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The sequels are silly as shit.
It is like Birth of the Antichrist stuff, right? Like, isn't that what it is?
Yeah, it's the idea of this politician's kid is secretly the Antichrist, and what happens in the first Omen, not this movie, sorry, the original Omen. That's gonna kill me. The fact that I can't say the first Omen.
Yeah,
the original Omen is it actually starts in this like hospital/church. There's a name for that, church hospital.
Yeah, sure.
And they're secretly like Satanists, and they switch the baby at birth. And so the Antichrist is basically given to this political family who then rises ranks because Satan's helping. And it's like a really cool biblical horror because like it's kind of like Final Destination.
Biblical horror.
I love biblical horror.
I love that you're bothering to use that term, but continue.
Well, that is kind of the term where like it's straight up like this is the biblical, not biblical because I'm the Catholic or Christian devil.
Yeah.
Like and so it's it's a really good depiction of the devil because like it's kind of like
creative
Final Destination.
One. Yeah, sure. I get it.
It's this idea of like it's not end of days. You can't fight the devil. The devil is just a force that does things in the world. Like you can't fight it. Well, you can fight it, but you can't fight it in the way people would want to.
Yeah, not like Keanu Reeves would, in Devil's Advocate, right? Like
and so it makes it very scary. I don't know. And
okay.
This is all to say that I think this trailer is about that cult at the hospital. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. Yeah,
it looks like that. My instant reaction to this, as a person who hasn't watched The Omen, is nothing about this looked original. Not one thing. It all
Well,
looked
yeah.
recycled.
That's because everything when the Omen came out is original, and then everything else copied it, right? And now this is sort of that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah, I thought the one image that was cool that I was like, oh yeah, okay, was there was like a brand going on the roof of that woman's mouth.
Yeah,
That
so
I was like, that's fucking cool.
That's the 666, baby.
I didn't like pause it to look at it, but that's okay, cool.
In the original Omen, it's on Damien's head under his hair. And so, like,
Okay.
the idea is it's
Sure.
like hidden, the mark of the devil.
The
part where
666, right.
But you are right where, like, so there's the part in this trailer where the nun lights herself on fire on the roof and says,
Yeah.
it's all for you.
Yeah.
That is straight out of the Omen, the original. A woman, the nanny, hangs herself and says that. So I'm a little worried because it's like, oh, well, we already did that.
I guess
we already
like,
saw that.
To me, and like this is not designed for me, so I'm not. To me, though, I feel like what I want a trailer like this to do is reassure me that there's gonna be stuff I haven't seen. That's like the number one thing I want. I don't want it to show me that it knows about the Omen. I don't want it to show me that it's super Catholic. Like I don't care about that. I care about something you haven't seen is going to be in this movie, right?
Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of stuff that you have seen in
Right.
the Omen, at least.
Right.
Like the woman sacrificing herself in the 666.
Right.
Not on the roof of the mouth, but yeah. So that is a little worrying. You're right.
Like it's a heavy burden to loft on a horror film that's also part of a franchise. But but a horror film just has to deliver on thrill. It has to. And the only and new is a big ingredient there.
I think it's that, but also I guess what's promising to me about this movie is the story, where that all the Omen sequels, which are again bad.
Right.
Well, sorry, not all, because I think Exorcist 3, Damien is an adult, but like the other ones, they got so caught up on evil child, where they're like, that's our thing, that's our that's our Michael Myers, and this one it doesn't seem like it has evil child as much.
Sure, it's more cult.
But it's more which makes sense because also I'm pretty sure Damien's mother is a jackal in The Omen, so I don't know where I assume they're gonna wrangle a jackal in this. I don't know.
It thrills me that you just threw that out there, that fact, and you've called this like it's biblical. This fucking
like in the Bible.
This insane thing that's like what?
What are your thoughts on biblical horror?
In general, it's bad, and usually ignorant.
Yes. Of course.
This doesn't. I don't know. It's like when we talk about that, what we're really talking about is like medieval paintings.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's what people mean when they say biblical horror. They mean medieval paintings and like comic books based on it. Like it doesn't feel like anybody knows the source material in any kind of depth, which is fine.
No.
That's
what
fine.
what it is that I think the best horror movies still have rules.
Right.
If they don't have rules, and so biblical horror kind of is a really quick shorthand for here's the rules. It's one of the new Exorcist movie tried to make it really generic religion, like the religion generic,
which is dumb.
and it was like,
no, you got to make it Catholic, man. Yeah,
exactly. It's just like even if you're making shit up, at least give it like some direction, some rules, something that people can kind of glom onto.
I think
where now it's like a set of cliches now, like biblical style, like horror rules.
Well,
but
again,
it's still something.
I think we're actually abstracted enough from that stuff that getting back to the source material would be more interesting. Like, for instance, of course, I come from a religious background. A lot of the Christians I know were like really annoyed with the movie Noah, which is not a horror film, but Noah is
kind of is.
It is a little bit. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Noah is actually an incredibly well-researched biblical story. Like, it's very interpretive and fantastic, but it knows the story really well. And I thought that made it so like, oh, well, that's a really interesting idea for a movie.
Yeah.
Like, good job.
I thought Noah was really cool.
Yeah, I did too.
I liked little things like what the sky looked like.
Yeah.
Stuff like that where it's like...
I liked the rock monsters. I did.
Yeah.
I thought they were interesting.
I liked that there were a bunch of like animals that you don't recognize. And I'm like, well, they're not making it on the boat. Those fucking animals are doomed.
I know how that goes. Yeah, exactly.
I wanted like a really dumb like talking one that's like, hey, Noah, how's it going?
What you building, Noah?
Yeah.
Can I get on there? Yeah, exactly.
No.
I don't have space for you.
Yeah.
Get out of your
Speaking
guard, Mark. Or whatever. Yeah.
Speaking of bullshit, you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
talk about this next one?
Oh, so bad.
The
so
Wonderful
bad.
Story of Henry Sugar and Three More.
Okay. All right. You know what, man?
Wesley Anderson.
I fucking had it. I've had it. Just make plays. Just make local theater plays. I've had it. I fucking had it. Now we have
But
the
he won
guys
an Oscar.
We have people reading the action lines to us. Like
Is
enough.
that in this?
Yes.
Okay,
all
yeah.
people are reading the action lines.
Did you see Asteroid City?
No, I saw 15 minutes of it on a plane, and I was like, I'd rather stare at the back of this fucking chair than watch the rest of this. And that's what I did.
I am so happy that you're here to talk
I'm
about
so
this with me.
fucking sick of it. Like he is like it's just so much style with nothing to say in such a long time.
I watched Asteroid City on a plane as well.
Great.
Because that was, but I was also on mushrooms. And I was
And it was fine. Yeah.
No,
still bad?
still not.
Wow.
By the end I was look, I like the pretty colors.
Yeah, it's
the
real
problem,
pretty.
all right. So like for me, Wes Anderson, like he has varying degrees of dryness. And
Agreed.
Asteroid City is as dry as it gets.
Yep.
Where like they just it's one of those things where it's like there's not a single character that sets itself out from the rest because they're all saying their lines the exact same way. That it's like it's like you're daring me to try to like this.
Right. You're not fucking Robert Altman. You know what I
No,
mean? Like
it's-
Robert
it's-
Altman makes good movies that are interesting because of tension.
Right. That's the thing is like we've talked about this a million times where like speaking of the Omen that was directed by Richard Donner, who made The Goonies, who's a chameleon. He makes
Right.
movies the way you need the movie to be made. Whereas Wes Anderson I feel this way with Tarantino, a few others, where he's just like, look at me, look at what I'm doing. And I'm like, yeah, you're distracting me now. Like I don't care about the characters or the story because you're just throwing so much fucking bullshit at me. And Asteroid City felt like it had kind of started spilling over.
I enjoyed, to a degree, The French Dispatch.
Yeah.
I thought Grand Budapest Hotel was maximum Wes Anderson, and it was wonderful. Like I love that film.
I like that one.
I love that film. I thought this is the most of him that I would want, and it was great. And I'm sure he's going to make another one like that. I get it.
Obviously Life Aquatic, like this. Yeah,
Sure,
he's made
yeah.
amazing
He's made-
films.
He has 5 films I really, really like.
Yeah,
That's a lot of films to really, really like. Like
he's
I don't
just
hate
kinda
this guy.
He needs a little more restraint. It feels like he's kind of off the leash now.
He
And it's
needs
like-
to stop doing clever fucking like clever delivery of a story and just do the story.
Right, because he
You
has
know?
some really. That's the thing is what makes him so good, right, is that you feel like you're in this kind of cartoonish world, and then there's these really grounded moments where you really feel for the characters.
Absolutely.
This is all to say that I actually have high hopes for this one because I did not get Asteroid City vibes from this. It felt less dry to me. It felt like there was a little more there was a little more silliness in the characters.
Sure, it's a little sillier in that they have people looking at camera and reading the screenplay to you.
Yeah, I mean that's
Come on, man.
irritating.
That's insane. We
Yeah.
don't need that. We don't need it. I don't know. I'm sure I'm sounding like a fucking
someone's
monster.
gonna need it.
Well,
Someone's
he
gonna
needs
watch
it. I mean, I'm gonna watch it too. So who am I kidding? I've never not seen his movie, but I really think it's like no, care about the story. Like
Yeah.
care about it.
I'm getting there. I'm getting to that point where I'm like actually I not actually sure I've seen The French Dispatch. I think I was thinking of the hotel one. Like I'm starting to slowly fade out of these, which is fine, like I'm not required by law to watch these yet. Yet.
No, they haven't yet passed the legislation.
Mhm.
Make Dave Twee.
Yeah.
No film. There's so few filmmakers that have one film of the caliber of Royal Tenenbaums or Rushmore. Or pick your other favorites. He's got many. So again, the guy is a master. But boy, oh boy, it's like, do I want to watch The Film Critic by Tarantino? Like, are you excited about The Critic, Dave? Are you ready
Is
for
that
that?
Tarantino's next one?
His next one's about a movie
I've
critic.
kind of had it with Tarantino too. It's that thing where it's sort of like when they choose a thing and they're like, I'm going to commit to this thing. It's like, well, your thing's going to get old, right? Like eventually people are going to get, and I don't know, they're pretty, I guess, lucky that their thing didn't get old for most people. Like, for most people, they're still into it. But, like, I don't know. For me, it's sort of, I'm fading out. I don't think I saw that was his last one, Tarantino's, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And that was like
I saw that
4 years ago.
Yeah, I saw it once in theaters, and I haven't thought about it again.
Agreed. That's exactly what I did. I watched it once, and I was like, that was okay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that this is another argument for why guys like Scorsese and Spielberg are really important, because they really do seem like they're driven by whatever story they want to tell.
Yeah, they understand the assignment.
And they never, ever, ever feel like they have to make a movie that's the movie people expect from them. Which means sometimes they make movies that aren't great.
Right. But they still are trying to make... Zemeckis is another one. I just watched What Lies
Zemeckis.
Beneath.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And it's
pretty
he's
good
making
movie.
a Hitchcock film.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's still hints of Zemeckis, but he's trying to be a thing. Yeah, whereas like the one I'm sure I've said before on this podcast, Hateful Eight was one that like
didn't like that.
No, I didn't like it because I think what Tarantino does is he like glums onto something. And like I've talked about this before, definitely, where like you can see how his films kind of connect.
Yes.
Meaning that like there's always like little leftover pieces. He'll make Reservoir Dogs, and then he's like, I'm not done making like cool guys in suits, and so he makes another cool guy in suit movie, and they all kind of bleed that way, where it's like you can tell what he's like particularly interested in. And like Hateful Eight, it just felt like he wanted to make a David Lean movie. He was like, people don't do intermissions anymore, but he didn't tell an epic. He didn't do like an epic.
It's the smallest long
that.
movie ever.
Yeah, and so it's like, why are you like 70 millimeter? Go, you gotta see it. And it's like, why? It's in a cabin. Like, this is not. You didn't film the story you wrote.
I'm gonna come back to this point you're making, Dave, because I have it. I want to put it on a place I think you're gonna deeply disagree with me about.
Ooh, can we talk about this next thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Franklin.
Yeah, honestly, Dave.
Honestly,
I think if you add about 50% more sex, I think this is gonna be great.
Yeah. Here's my controversial opinion about Franklin.
Yeah.
It's fucking Michael Douglas as Franklin.
Right.
I think first of all, fill him out a little bit. You got to fill him out. You got to make him a little bit of a chub.
Yeah.
I actually forgot. Like, watching it, I was like, wait, which one's Franklin? I was like, wait, the fuck beast? He's playing the fuck... I get it. Michael Douglas is a fuck beast. Don't get me wrong.
So he better be doing that. We better be basic instincting this life, or I don't know what we're doing.
They have some brief fuck beast moments.
They put two of them in, and they put words in there that made you think, okay, you do know who you cast, right? So that better be what it is.
I need Paul Giamatti in this as John Adams.
100%.
In the John Adams verse.
That's exactly how I felt. Yeah.
Guess what? The writer of Franklin?
Yeah.
Guess what else he wrote?
John Adams?
John Adams.
Yeah. Great.
So he's just like a history pervert. So there's no reason why he couldn't put fucking Paul Giamatti in this.
I mean, it would invite us to feel the pain of Tom Wilkinson's passing, because he played Ben Franklin in that, and he was great.
He really did.
Yeah, he was great in it.
But like, give us the universe, the cinematic universe.
I think John Adams is criminally underrated at this point.
That's great.
Even though it has those stupid ass Dutch shots in it, that I'm like, what are we doing?
Oh my god, thank you. Sorry, I brought those up too, and Abe gets really mad when I bring up the Dutch angle shots.
He doesn't want to take it from you. That's what it is. He's like, you know what, Dave? You don't get to throw the Dutch in my face. You don't get that, Dave.
The Dutch angles took me out of the series.
They're very distracting. Yes.
Yeah, because that's
really
like, to me, that's like a 90s music video. And I'm like, why are we doing these Dutch angles?
I like the reckless feeling of them. I don't like them when there's no underlying narrative purpose to them at all. That bothers me.
Right.
Anyway, we're not here to hear Adam's theory on Dutch angles.
We kind of are.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Great.
Frank, I have nothing else to say about Franklin other than I'm into it.
As long as it's Franklin fucks, I'm all the way in. If it's not I think it's a pretty narrow period of his life to cover for a series.
Yeah, we better see him sit on his balls like in
my
John
stones.
Adams.
My stones. That's what I want.
What we need.
We need my stones, but Michael Douglas saying it.
Let's talk about Parachute because this
Okay.
is a fucking weird ass.
So you're
movie.
skipping the one that the Heat of the Hunter, which is fine.
Oh shit!
We can
I'm
skip
sorry.
it.
That. Did you have something to say about it?
I was just gonna. All I wanted to say about that is I hope that it is based in reality. I hope that movie is not like just sort of what appears to be like some African country, but CIA spy stuff. Like I hope it's based on a true story because it looks awesome and it has for
I'm
that.
sorry I took that out because what was funny is I was trying to cut things down for time and I was like, this looks good. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah. That's all.
about it.
That was my only thing. Was I just hope it's a truish story.
Yeah,
and not just a bunch of schlock. You know.
me too.
Anyway,
Me too.
looks cool.
And I'm trying to find it again. It's also on Netflix, so I was like, they'll be fine. Heart of the Hunter. Heart of the Hunter.
Oh, heart. Yes, not
Heart of the. Yeah, I wrote. I was like, yeah. It's based off a book. I don't know if that does anything.
Yeah,
it's a spy thriller.
it was.
so-
Yeah, and I want it to be based in reality because I think that'll be more interesting than a spy novel. But we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see. Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
Now Parachute
Parachute. I
with
thought
Dave Bautista.
dude. First of all, I was all the way in on this movie, and then he showed up, and I was like, now I have to set my calendar because
Yeah.
what? Why is he in it? I don't know, and I need it
I-
now.
I
love
love because Dave Bautista. His whole thing is like, I'm an actor. I'm not just a muscle.
Right.
man," right.
Right.
And he's right. He's not
He is.
wrong. He's a very good actor.
He's
So,
good.
but like, obviously, when people are like, "All right, we'll cast you as an actor and a muscle man," like you have to still, because it's like he's so muscular that you have to write in a reason for that.
Yeah. It's like you can't have Arnold Schwarzenegger be in the movie without him being the product of 6 people's sperm or whatever. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
This was directed by Brittany Snow, who's an actress. Actually, she's been in a lot of things. She was in Pitch Perfect 1 and 2. X. This is about a woman, young woman recovering from an eating disorder out of rehab, and she meets a guy, and it's one of those movies. It's like, okay, this is a very quirky love story, but I don't hate it. Does that make sense? You know, where I'm like, this isn't Garden State. I'm not going to be driven nuts by this.
No, it seems like it's about codependence, and it seems like it's actually pretty raw to me. Like
Yeah.
it's got a little quirkiness to it, but it seemed pretty raw and like pretty well, like it's made by somebody who seems to understand it, or I would hope.
Yeah.
That was what was appealing about it. Was like, wow, this feels like a really authentic look into this story that's not in any way trying to be melodramatic. It's trying to be stylish and tell the feelings as they are, and I thought that was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel McHale's in it.
Yeah, I love him,
which
dude.
is another one where I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you doing in here with Dave Bautista?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's great.
yeah. I'm in on that.
It feels like a movie that it was probably fairly indie, and they were like, can we get some names in here too? And one of
Could
them's
be.
like, I have Dave Bautista, and they're like, yeah, like get him in here.
Yeah,
I don't know
fast
how.
track it. Yeah, fast
Yeah.
track that. Yeah, okay, sure. That's honestly that's it for me on that.
Yeah, that's all to say. Parachute looks really good. And yeah, the cast is baffling. And I don't know. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
We can move on to Sing Sing.
Dude. Sing Sing.
Great name
sure,
for what
sure.
this is.
Sure. Look, I have the ultimate cooler take on this, right? Which is just enough movies about the arts. Enough. I don't want to hear it. This movie is the best version of a movie about the arts, in theory. But like, dude, it's just the power of theater, and it's the power
Sing
of
Sing.
theater.
It's a prison, and you sing.
It's dude,
Adam?
dude. It's so lame.
Did you watch Theater Camp?
No,
That I watched after Asteroid City.
probably much better. Yeah.
Yes, I highly recommend Theater Camp. If that is to me the last story that needed to be told about the arts.
Right. It's like they're always so self-important. I appreciate the framing device of these men need something meaningful in prison. I get that. I see that that's valuable. But boy, oh boy, it just becomes this self-congratulatory thing, and I just don't dig that.
I don't know if this is based off a true story. If it's based off a true story, I'll be a little more into it. It's based on a play, actually. So for people who are wondering what it's about, It's about a prisoner starting a theater troupe in prison, which I have to say is probably the bravest thing a person in prison could do.
Oh yeah.
Hey folks, who wants to do improv? Like, that's a stabbing right there. I would stab that person.
Here's my yes and motherfucker.
Yeah. Let's do warm-up
The
exercises.
sharp
And it's like,
toothbrush is my contribution.
But yeah, that's the premise, and I don't know. I think it's a very good version, but I get what you're saying, which is like, we love patting ourselves on the back
It's just-
about
yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just like The Artist was a pretty good movie. It wasn't a bad movie.
I did not see the
It was
artist.
fine. It's fine.
Oh wait, I did. That's the problem.
yeah,
It went. Yeah.
it's fine. I'm worried
fine.
that this is going to be another fine movie. It's not that they've never made great movies with the arts. They have, but there's it's really difficult for somebody in the arts to be
I think this
objective
is-
about it.
I think this is a good way of doing it though, because they're
Sure,
not.
me too. I
I
agree
think
with that.
this isn't like the magic of the art so much as like art as a rehabilitation and as a way to like have people who have problems like express themselves. Like, you could make this same movie about D&D, which is another thing that happens in prison a lot.
And I
which when
would
you think about it, like,
hate it more. But yes, I understand. You could do that.
yeah, and it's good for rehabilitation. Like, I get it. So like I am kind of curious about this. Like, this is kind of a where I'm like, like I see that it's kind of schlocky, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still into it. I'm
It's
still
also,
picking
as
it
a
up.
premise, it's not the worst thing. Like, I have a friend who just released a movie called Hard Miles. That, if I remember correctly, because I saw it a while ago, essentially is at a boys' correctional facility, or like, yeah, I think it's a boys' correctional
I
facility.
thought it was going to be about a porn star named Hard Miles.
Can you imagine? Yeah,
Yeah.
high-fiving each other across town is what you and
Yeah.
I'd be doing. Anyway, the premise is this guy sort of manages to get this group of somewhat troubled kids out on the trail biking, right? And they sort of discover their value biking and stuff, right? And
Right.
and so on a beat level, I'm betting it's not that dissimilar from this, but the premise allows us to go outside the correctional facility and like see the world and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's the idea, Anyway, go see Hard Miles. It's by my friend
Hard Miles.
Daniel Hanna, who's a great director. I really like him.
Yeah?
Anyway, yeah.
And if you're a porn star, Hard Miles.
Yeah, Hard Miles,
It's
yeah,
free.
yeah, right up there. For
I need to talk about this next one really bad.
yeah, I know.
Strictly Confidential.
Oh, okay. So you cut another one that I was.
Oh no, I'm
which is-
sorry.
No, don't apologize, because I was really furious at this one, so I can move on.
Okay.
I can
Yeah,
move on.
I had nothing to say about that
Yeah, it
one.
was
We won't
Ranja
even
the Robber is the name of it, right?
Damn it! I was gonna say we won't even speak
Oh,
its name.
Sorry.
It's like Swedish. It's like some fucking. I don't know. I cut the ones where it's like, Netflix got it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. They snuck in hobbits at the end was basically the only thing I wrote down. Like, they fucking snuck in hobbits. Like,
Yeah.
really bad. Anyway, continue.
No, but what I did keep was Strictly Confidential.
Yes.
Um,
oh man. Oh yes.
I have
This
to
movie.
note something. Yeah, this is a sexy
Whew.
British thriller. These Brits are fucking and killing.
It's, dude.
It looks like a Lifetime original.
You know what it looks like? It should be a fucking reality show.
Yeah.
No,
And
dude. Think about that. If this idea was a reality show, we would all be fucking watching it. It would be incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like one.
Yeah. So the big draw, I want to drop something real fucked up on you here.
All right. I'm
So the
excited.
big draw is Elizabeth Hurley.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, yeah.
From, Bedazzled
Yeah.
and others.
yeah,
She's
Austin Powers.
sexy.
Yeah.
She's extremely sexy. And she's doing sexy stuff in this. Like, there's like
she really is. Yeah.
she's being seduced by a lady, right? In one
Yeah.
scene. And so this is a sexy thriller that is written and directed by Damien Hurley, her son.
What?
This is written and directed by Elizabeth Hurley's son.
No.
According to IMDb, that is a sexy thriller with his mother in it.
Dude.
And that's either the most healthy or least healthy relationship. I'm not sure which.
That's, bro.
I wish them the best.
That's very troubling.
I really like the idea that she just got casted fair and square, without his involvement, and he showed up on set like, oh fuck me, really, really. Just every scene, he's just like, okay, action, I guess.
Oh my
Fuck,
God.
like covering his mind,
Exactly.
his eyes. Yeah,
Because, man, the trailer is unapologetic about her seduction scene, too. Like, it goes back
This
to
is
it
sexy.
a few times.
this is borderline porn. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like it's kind of
Yeah.
shot like a porn. Like the production value isn't amazing.
It did not feel in any way encumbered in showing the fucking the sex here. It did not feel like that. Wow.
It's a sexy. It's rated R for some sexual content, language, and bloody images. So maybe it's less sexy than it's letting on.
It probably is basically what we saw. You know what I mean? Like
right.
and like one more sex scene. Like they probably put it all in the trailer, honestly. But boy, I would not want to be the director that day.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No. It's so a bunch of sexy British people are going back to this like sexy island where their friend sexily committed suicide like a year earlier.
They're also all wearing white dresses on the beach and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is going on here? It's crazy.
I don't think she killed herself. I think the idea,
definitely
it's like
definitely
this reveal will be that she's like mind fucking them or something.
That's why
they're all regular fucking each other.
Honest, Dave, I know you don't want to talk about this. It would be an incredible reality show. Like you bring these people on, they think they're gonna win money. Instead, one of them's dead, and they have to fucking figure it out.
I don't think you can kill anybody for a reality show. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think you can trick people that they're dead. I think that has happened.
Oh, okay. Well, I like a reality show where you trick a person that they're dead, and everybody pretends not to see them, and you do a whole afterlife thing.
Thrilling idea. Thrilling idea.
Beetlejuice them.
Yeah, I love that. I'm way in on that.
Okay, good.
Great. We've solved all of television today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, I'm front in line. First person. I will be watching Strictly Confidential, the sexy crime drama mystery starring Elizabeth Hurley, directed by her child.
That's another movie I know we're gonna see. I know I'm gonna be with you and seeing that. I know it.
How could we not? How could you not see
I'm gonna have to look at you while it happens.
Yeah.
You're gonna be sitting there enjoying it. It's gonna be it's so terrible.
Incredible.
Yeah, it really is. That was the highlight, I thought, of this whole slate. Definitely.
This is the best one. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Although the next one I had on more hype, and it was like a real little teaser, and so the full thing came out, and I wanted to highlight it. This is In Flames. This is
I thought this was a home run, like just all the way in immediately. There's a lot of cool movies that are sort of doing this structural thing right now that I love, which is at the midpoint of the movie that switches genres a bit, which is what this trailer leads you to believe is going to happen. And I love it. I love it for this. You know,
the teasers were less like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. I like both movies that it seems to be, and I can see one story that weaves them together. I'm excited about it.
Right. I don't think it's not a full-on horror film. It's a drama horror.
Yeah.
It's I think it takes place in Pakistan. It's a Pakistani Canadian production.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm basing it off of. And it's this young woman who I compared this last time to I think it's called In the Shadow. It's another one where it's kind of about this culture that's a bit oppressive to women, that it kind of traps them, which is very conducive to horror. And it's about her father dying and her mother and her kind of existing without him while being haunted by him. So that's what you kind of see in the trailer, like this haunting of this man from afar. And I think it's about just these two women trying to survive in this, this particularly oppressive society for them, while also being haunted. So I think that's I think that's an interesting horror premise and drama premise.
I was way in. I really liked it a lot.
It looks really well made.
It looks beautiful. Yeah, I was pretty excited about it, honestly. Pretty excited. Yeah.
And that's basing off of like the reviews I've seen and stuff like that. And it's very well reviewed, but I don't know when the fuck it's coming out. I think it did festivals already.
I think if you're seeing trailers for it, it's definitely been into festivals, almost certainly.
Yeah, it says May 19th for initial release, but I don't know.
But you don't trust that, but I don't.
It's
trust
like
that.
fucking festivals and shit. So like,
okay.
I just want this. This is gonna be one of those things. It looks like it's playing in limited theaters right now.
So you could, in theory, go see it right now.
Yeah, this will probably just be one of those things that, like a lot of the more hype ones where it's just like one day it's on streaming and you're just like, oh, there it is.
Well, I
I'm
look forward
excited
to
for
that because
that.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm going. I should support movies like this in the theater. I need to start doing that.
I try, but sometimes you just can't fucking find it. You know, sometimes it's like a little dinky theater where there's like 2 showings a day, even in Los Angeles.
There's no Sbarro nearby, so what are you going to eat? You know,
What are you going to eat?
Without a
you gotta
Sbarro,
eat the
you're
Sbarro.
fucked. You're totally fucked.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I want Sbarro right now.
I never saw anybody at a place of that low quality be so versed in what was possible there. Like,
Oh, yeah, I know my
knew
Sbarros.
Sbarro like a
That
savant.
baked ziti, man.
Yeah.
You get the baked ziti. You don't want it too toasted, actually. You don't want it too cooked. You want it a little cold, a little lukewarm. Like, you get it right out of the pan, that baked ziti. That's where it's
Sbarro
at.
looks like pizza that got snapped together like it was Legos. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, yeah. It might even
It's
taste
best
like
cold.
that, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that seems true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked at a Cinemark, and we had very few options when you take your break, and Sbarro is one of them.
Yeah.
So you gotta learn.
Is
you
that
gotta
an
learn
Orange
to survive.
Julius? And how many? You can't live on Orange Julius.
There's a Panda Express. There was a Subway.
Yeah.
But like Subway sandwiches, I would argue are worse than Sbarro.
I think
when-
they're
at the
right,
end of the day,
right
yeah.
about the same. Right
Yeah.
about the same. Did you have an Orange Julius at your?
No,
Okay.
no, we did later. I didn't work there anymore, and I remember seeing it and being like, "Motherfuckers, where were you? Where were you when I
The
needed
joy
you?"
I could have had. Yeah, exactly.
The Panda
Okay.
Express had these dumplings that would explode hot oil on your face.
Yeah.
So what I would do is on my break, I would just go watching people,
Like a taste
doing the-
pimple. Yeah.
watching the people get the hot oil on their face from like afar. It was like a fun little,
And it was better than all the movies I could be seeing at that time.
yeah.
Much
It was.
more
It was like
entertaining.
2003. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There was nothing in the theater in 2003.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Let's see some
Except for
oil
Lord of the
popping.
Rings.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Great. Are we?
Should we thank some more producers?
Yeah. Why not? Let's do it.
Big old thank you to Psychic Bigfoot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to David Knife Boot
Knife Boot.
Henson. Thank you to Deborah's awesome. Barbara's great and cancer can go to hell.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Driftless, God Emperor of Hype. Thank you for watching Lair of the White Worm. You're welcome.
Thank you, Driftless.
Thank you to Ed Nug.
Thank you.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you.
Thank you to Funky G Mostly Comes Out at Night. Mostly.
Thank you.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to Hey Tom. When are we going to get the sequel to Stitches?
Thank
He's
you.
not here, so I'm going to say soon.
Oh, great. Oh, good.
I mean, I'm lying, but let's
Okay,
go with
yeah, sure.
soon.
That'll make Tom's life easier at the hands
Yeah.
of this patron, no doubt. Okay. Thanks so much to Ombre.
Thank you.
Thanks to ImpossibleWorlds.net. Issue 3 is out now. Gorge yourself on our fiction. Gorge.
Thank you.
Thanks to Jay the Crow Baron, says build a guillotine in rich people's yards 2024.
The Crow.
Thanks to Chris Shanovich.
Thank you.
I fucked that up for sure.
It's
But
fine.
thank you. Thanks to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to Look Mom on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks to Mackenzie. Fuck shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
It
It's
is.
been a while since I thanked him. Thank you, Mackenzie. Chill. Thanks to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Thanks to Mike, the Hell Driver.
Helldiver.
Thanks to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you.
Wow. I am thankful. My God. My God. The stories we tell, Dave.
Yeah. Specifically, I mean, I only got 2 because one of them will take a minute.
Yeah.
The Oscars happened.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
The Oscars.
Were you did you have things you wanted to happen that didn't happen?
Everything that was going to happen happened.
Right.
There are things that I would have, like, for example, I'm not as fond of Oppenheimer.
I don't like Oppenheimer. I'm glad we agree on
Yeah.
that.
I think there were better Best Pictures. Barbie I really enjoyed, and I honestly was like, yeah, fuck it, give it to Barbie. Who gives a shit? But like the Holdovers, I think deserved more.
I like
Killers
The
of the
Holdovers.
Flowers Moon deserved more.
I liked that less on a second watch, but I liked it.
Yeah, Anatomy of the Fall to me is like
It's a great film.
MVP.
Yeah. Great. Great film.
Yeah, that was my issue with Best Picture, which is like I don't know how you judge it anymore. And there was a lot of film. The Zone of Interest, fantastic film.
I kind of honestly, I came all the way around to saying I think it should have been Zone of Interest.
I think objectively, if we're talking about like what is the best movie artistically and
For art, for
yeah.
the art form of cinema, it should be Zone of Interest. It's
but if we're
that's
if
all.
we're giving awards to producers and we're just
Sure.
what's a great get, then like that's a different conversation. But I'm with you on that.
Giving an award for a production, like if that's what the award actually means, then it does belong to Oppenheimer because that was a hell of a production.
Yeah,
Like they did so much work for that, and it is gorgeous. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of montages of meetings.
Yeah, exactly. It really
So-
depends on how you're judging it. I think best directing. I get it. Nolan hadn't won, and it's kind of political.
He's got to get
but
it somewhere, right?
Jonathan Glazer, I really like. Also, fucking Anatomy of a Fall.
They could have
I
given
think
it
she should
to
have gotten it.
every other person before Nolan, and I would have been okay with it. But I don't. But I think Nolan needs to be acknowledged by the Academy because he's that significant to the history of movies at this point.
Yeah,
So
it's hard because Adam, I know you've been waiting for this. I saw Poor Things right before the Oscars.
What a movie!
And
Oof.
so looking at best directing, I'm like, man, I like it all.
Yeah.
I like it all.
Yeah.
I like the directing in every single one of these movies.
Yeah,
I think
Things
Poor
is
Things
wild. That's a wild
Yes.
film. Yeah,
I think Poor Things stole a lot of things that would have otherwise gone to Barbie.
agreed.
Like the technical, the costume, makeup, which isn't to say I think Poor Things earned it.
It's a
but
more
I think that's sad.
unhinged. It's a more unhinged movie, and more wild at making the same arguments. But
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna feel like in 5 years, yeah. But somebody had to make Barbie out of Barbie.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean. Like you can't underestimate the fact that we made this out of Barbie. Like
For
that's
sure.
unbelievable.
They're both very impressive, and I do think probably more people will remember Barbie. Not
Yeah,
that that's
definitely.
a test, but I think Poor Things. It's more of just like Poor Things is such a loud accomplishment, and what I mean by that is like, okay, set design. You look at Barbie, and you're like, that's fucking great, but then you
Yeah.
look at Poor Things, you're like, all right, I guess it's gonna go
You're
to
like,
that
this-
because look at that.
What
shit.
is this fucking craziness?
Yeah.
Like what
Costume, best
Yeah, yeah,
actress.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
Emma Stone earned that shit.
She absolutely
but
did.
I would argue Sandra Hüller fucking killed it
And
in
yet,
Anatomy of a Fall.
the favorite for that category was Lily Gladstone, and I gotta say, when I rewatched Killers of the Flower Moon, it sunk in for me how much pain that woman had to go through for that performance.
Yeah,
Like, man,
but it's
she
a subtler
was.
performance.
It's not as bold or challenging to the audience's eye as what Emma
Yeah.
Stone did.
Exactly. It's
You know.
what Emma Stone did is it has so much more flourish where it's like, I'm going to start this way and end this way.
Right.
I'm going to have all these monologues, all this stuff where it's like, yeah, I guess you give it like, again, it's a hard year because there were so many good performances. It's just that Poor Things was very loud. And again, I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just it's like a lot more of a like, it just jumps out at you, those performances.
It's also like,
But-
how often are you going to get like an actress in her prime who's like a legit movie star? Like one of the, like there's only really like, I don't know, 5 to 10 big movie stars at a time.
Mhm.
Like they have eras, and Emma Stone's kind of at the prime of her era. Do a
Right.
performance like this.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
The risk it takes to making choices like she's making is pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah,
I was happy about-
I was happy with it.
Yeah, I was happy about Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, Best
Yeah.
Supporting Actress.
I like
she
her a
killed
lot.
it in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
she
then
had
there's-
a few great scenes in that for sure.
Yeah. I think Anatomy of the Fall winning Best Screenplay, it's like, okay, they got something. Best International, fucking, of course, it's Zone of Interest.
Boy, the misquotations going on from what he said in
Holy
his speech
shit.
have been wild.
Yeah, that's just that's just people lying.
Yeah,
Like it's
like, what are you
it's
talking about?
weird.
You
Yeah, and
just
it's like we
stopped
can-
listening to his sentences. What are you saying?
Right. We can see the video.
Yeah. Get out
Um,
of here.
Yeah, and the big one that I was like, I'll walk if it doesn't get it. Zone of Interest got Best Sound, which was like, how could it not?
You were really on one about that, and that
I
warmed
was
my heart.
scared.
Yeah.
I was scared because I realized when I looked at the nominees, I was like, oh fuck! If people are dumb, they're going to give it to Oppenheimer, right? Because Oppenheimer is like, it's the poor things for sound. It's a much louder, like, look at our sound, you
Right.
know. But Zone of Interest is objectively, and it's nothing against the other ones, but it objectively had the best sound
I think
of any fucking movie in the last 10 years. Like it's
if
it's the movie.
for creative reasons. Yeah,
for creative reasons.
I would
yeah.
say, like, in general, like, my impression of Academy voters is that they really, really do want to heighten the art form in these lesser awards whenever they can.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the reasons why the big blockbuster films win those awards is because of the work they did to achieve that is fucking epic and incredible.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
but Zone of Interest is such a slam dunk for the art form of sound in storytelling that I'm glad they got it right.
Yeah, I mean, the Oscars usually are like, at least when I look at the past Oscars, the things that win Best Picture, Best Director, like a lot of times I'm really into, but a lot of times it's the things that win like Best Screenplay that I'm like, oh, there's
That's
the film
what I
that
loved.
rocked.
Yeah. That's the more creative one. Yeah,
That's why last year was so surprising, because Everything Everywhere felt like it was going to be the one that was like kind of bunted to like, yeah, you're the
Forgotten.
creative. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I also think that Academy voters don't watch all these movies, and the ones they do watch are the ones that sort of rise to the top.
Yeah.
And everybody saw that movie, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was cool.
and I think everybody saw Oppenheimer. I think
Yeah.
Nolan is still an event.
Right.
So
Yeah, this is all to say that there were no surprises and nothing that like pissed me off to such a
That was
great
fine.
extent.
it was fine.
What'd you think of the ceremony?
I didn't watch it because I already knew what was going to happen, and I
You
did
should
not
watch.
care for it. Although I did watch the performance by Ryan Gosling later on,
Okay.
which
I
loved.
would argue this show stealer, the thing you should watch is when Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito got to present.
It's such a Dave thing.
It's
I did
so
see that.
good.
I did see
It's
it.
so good.
Yeah.
And then Albert Pacino at the end.
Right.
was Fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Gosling number is the one we're going to remember, though, right?
I think it's the Twins reunion.
No, it isn't. No, it
Twins
isn't,
slash
man.
Batman reunion.
All right. You
And
wanna
then
move on?
Albert Pacino. Nev Campbell is returning to Scream
Boy,
because they begged her and brought a truck
Yeah.
of money to her house.
they realized,
because-
what else can we do? We are screwed.
They
Yeah.
fired everybody else. They burned so many bridges. I kind of wish she didn't, but I
Me
bet
too.
they just were like, here's all the money in the world.
Here's like $40 million. It's like, well,
Yeah.
shit, you know.
They kind of, it's kind of one of those, this is like when you get fired from a job, this is what you fantasize will happen.
Mhm.
Because she got dropped from Scream.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. She got dropped from the last one because they wouldn't pay her what she was worth.
Right.
And then they just spiraled and lost their director, their actors,
Yeah.
for being assholes. And then
Right.
they're like, please.
Meanwhile,
And she's
cut
like,
to her with
"I
a
suppose."
cigar in her mouth while money's
Yeah.
being handed into her palm. You know, just
Yeah.
you know, like,
She's like, all right, I'll accept your offer, but also I'm going to shit in a cup and I'm going to watch you
You're gonna
kiss
drink
that
it.
shit.
You're gonna
Yeah.
drink it.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we'll get a PA on
What do
it
you-
immediately.
What are you drinking? Is that tea? Give it to me.
Yeah. It's not tea anymore.
That's that happened. Why not? Why not?
That's a
be-
cup of Nev Campbell soup. That's what that is.
Whew. That's
Yeah.
that's home cooking. Definitely.
I'm all set with Scream. Unless they finally do something
I would argue
amazing. I'm
well,
down.
I would argue that this decision actually kills the thing they're trying to do, which is reboot the franchise. I think they just proved they can't.
Yeah, I think
You know?
I've said this before. My controversial Scream opinion is like maybe it shouldn't have been tied to to Nev Campbell. Maybe it should have been different murder mysteries around this different people putting on the mask, and you don't tie it to Nev Campbell. And then also
You tie
like
it to movie love, to movie lore, right?
So I kind of think they should have dropped that a little bit too.
Oh, interesting.
Because now they're getting weird and meta upon meta. I think they probably shouldn't have done so many, but if they're gonna do so many, the big thing that bothers me is like by Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason was a zombie.
Right.
By Nightmare on Elm Street 6, there was like, I don't know, we already had Dream Warriors and shit. And so it's like, why you're doing this meta commentary on slashers, but you're not actually doing the thing slasher movies do. Like put them in space, put them in the hood, do the things that slasher movies do. Like it's weird that they pretend to be a meta commentary on horror without actually being one. Like the last Scream, their meta commentary was more on superhero films, and it was like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, you're a horror movie. Do a meta commentary on horror movies.
You know what, Dave? You know what?
What?
Honestly, what if you wrote a horror movie that was a schlocky parody, or not parody, a schlocky meta commentary on just that moment in the franchise, like going to space, going to the hood,
Right.
and you called it whatever, like, the Goblin 6 or whatever. Like, you called it like it's the 6th in the franchise. Never existed before.
That would be
right?
fun.
Dude, that's a good idea for a movie. I feel like people would be fucking thrilled by that.
Oh, yeah.
And you just did the jokes that exist for that?
Yeah, I don't even know if you need like a number on it. You could just do like,
a
Goblin in space.
A Goblin
or
in
whatever.
space.
Yeah.
You just do it. Goblin goes to hell.
Yeah. Fuck it. Fuck it. That's what people want.
Honestly, there's a comedy horror film that could exist that I think people be very into for that.
There's this like weird Twilight, right? Where you have, I'll always use Friday the 13th because it's the clearest example, is that you have the first movie and it's like, okay, this is a solid horror movie. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
You get like maybe a sequel out of it that people are like, yeah. I mean, for Friday the 13th, it was even weirder because Jason didn't really exist till the third one.
Right.
Like not in the form that we know him. And then you have this weird Twilight where they like keep trying to like keep the ball in the air, and then they go, fuck it, let's make it a comedy.
Right.
And what's interesting is that Scream has been trying to not do that for 7 fucking movies. And it's like, no, you're trying too hard to keep it be like Scream. Just you have to go over the top.
Yeah.
You have to drop it. Stop rebooting it. Stop trying to keep being meta. Stop trying to make it like, oh, this time it's about the bigger thing. None of that. Like, just put the motherfucker in space.
Time to hit that hill and actually start coasting.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
you'll get 4 more movies out of that. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to just submit to your own fucking premise.
I'm telling you, Dave. Goblin 6.
Goblin 6.
Goblin in space.
Yeah. This time.
Space Goblin.
Yeah. This time it's space.
This time it's space.
Yeah, that's
all we do is write fucking
the tagline.
Fucking, gold. We're printing gold over here, Dave.
We are.
Yeah.
Should we think some more producers?
Yeah, we're gonna fund this gold idea.
All right.
Yeah.
Big old thank you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house. Thank you. Thank you to musical guest Henry Garfield. Still don't know who that is. Thank you to No One Can Hear You Scream in Space McNulty.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you to Pete Vorpagel.
Thank you. Ooh.
Thank you to Numenal Ultra Microscopic Silico Volcanoconiosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you to pre-order 6 TikTok superstar Jason Pargins' new standalone ticking clock thriller and dark satire called I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to RevMD.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thanks, Ricky.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you. Screaming Horse Pyramid is not enough of my time has been spent on that name. I really like it.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Thanks to Steven.
Thank you.
Thanks to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thanks to the ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank you.
Thanks to the Midnight Patron. What patrons at midnight?
Thanks.
Thanks to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thanks to the To Be Terror Bunny says the strikes may be over, but egg David Zaslav for fun and profit.
Thank you.
Sure. Thanks to these 7 Bs.
Thanks you.
Thanks to Tiger Drawers, Pratt Thompson sings Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
Thank you.
Thanks to Tip Drizzle.
Tip.
Thanks to Tux.
Tux.
Thanks to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thanks to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thank you.
Sure. And thanks to your mom.
Thanks.
Thanks.
If I forgot to thank someone, it's because my cat, Rue, just jumped on the desk and knocked a bunch of shit
Yeah,
over.
I was really enjoying how bad Rue was being.
What an asshole.
Yeah, real terrible. I mean, cats in general, though, you know.
Oh, yeah, they're garbage.
Yeah,
they're garbage animals.
They're bad animals. Real bad.
Mm-hmm. Bad animals.
Real bad at it. Yeah, don't like them.
Adam.
Yeah, Dave.
Adam,
Dave,
cut the shit.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, do the thing Tom says to do.
Cut the shit, Adam.
Cut it. Okay, great.
And I want you to cut the shit, and I want you to hear me tell you about a movie that deserves more hype.
Oh, I see. So when I guessed, I don't get either of the fun parts.
All right, you can tell me. Do it to me.
I'm going to cut the shit, Dave, and tell me about this movie that deserves more hype.
I will. What's the other fun part?
Cut the shit. That's the fun part. Well, you get to tell. The telling of the movie, Dave.
All right.
Or is this whole thing a fucking charade of bullshit?
I'm so fucking confused. I'm so fucking confused. I want to tell you about Bird Eater.
Yeah.
Great name.
Yeah, a name that thrills David in his dark heart.
It thrills me because you can kind of tell where this name is going based on this. It's in festivals right now. It's playing at the Sydney Film Festival in June, which I don't think is in Sydney, but I might be wrong. I guess it would probably be in Sydney, Australia. I don't know.
I mean, it's a real letdown.
The reason I said it, IMDb
isn't.
listed it as USA dates of where it came out, and then in parentheses, Sydney Film Festival. So I was like, is there a Sydney in America?
Because that would be incredible if it was like some outskirt of Iowa.
Right, or just some guy named Sydney.
Right.
Right. Point is, this. All right, it's only Bird Eater, one word. Look it up. The trailer's 30 seconds. I think it's a delightful idea, which is that it's this couple who seem very codependent. It's not really. It seems like. So the best comparison is it seems like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf if like it was a bunch of people. It's not really a horror movie from what I can tell. So she's very codependent with her fiance, who they're going to get married, so she goes along with his bachelor party that turns out to just be his like really fucked up inner circle of friends, and it descends into madness. And it's like, who is this guy that I've been engaged to kind of moment.
Yeah.
It sounds like, so the review here from the Daily Beast, the person reviewing starts by saying they're very sick of the concept of a toxic masculinity horror film. And I understand to an extent where they're coming from because we've gotten a bunch. We got Men, we got Barbarian, Midsummer to some extent. But this reviewer goes on to say, despite that, they really liked this exploration of it because it apparently says more than those other films, according to this review. It's Australian, so I don't know if that's going to turn you off, if people are shutting off the podcast because of that.
I would say,
it is.
Honestly, all that's happened is toxic masculinity has become a genre of horror.
Yes.
Like that, and I think that's going to be true forever.
It probably was already one. It just was less.
Yeah, maybe. It just
loud.
wasn't, we didn't know about it, maybe, so much. Yeah.
But I like this premise. Because the idea is
codependence
this group of friends
is an interesting dynamic in a movie,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I like the idea that basically as the group gets more drunk, you start getting infighting, and like it's that idea of like a friends group, right? Where they have so much bullshit within them that you, like, an outsider basically starts learning all these like secrets and horrible things that happened.
Yeah. Right. And to me, the trailer doesn't do justice to what this idea is.
Right.
Like your description of it and this person's write-up of it are much more compelling than the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer is very simple, right? It's 30 seconds, and they show, like, clearly, like, he's in a gimp mask, and you hear her going, like, I don't think this is such a good idea. Yeah. And then it's them, like, plowing through the woods on a truck, and that's it. And you get the vibe of, like, oh, shit's going to go really bad, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And, it doesn't prove it, I would say, the way a trailer ultimately will have to. But this write-up is exciting.
It is. And it seems like there's a level of restraint in these. Like, there's multiple write-ups here because, like, this other one talks about how, like, it basically, they say they take it right up to the line of snowballing into full-blown horror. And so I think that's interesting. And they say, as drunken rivalry threatens to explode into surrealism. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like what kind of horror, what kind of surrealism is going to happen here?
Those words are
curious.
Loaded. Like if I sound a little reserved, it's because it's a lot of words that sound very exciing, but nothing about.
You always sound a little reserved.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, I wanted this to be good, and I'm convinced that it is definitely possible that it is. but I also kind of feel like sometimes the right person gets attached to this, and then they sort of they say a bunch of words, and then you're like, yeah, but it's kind of ultimately like not that interesting, and that's also possible here.
Oh, sir, that is the nature of more hype,
right,
to
right.
me,
Right,
which is it's always a gamble, right? It's just a big swing.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
so like,
That's true.
I'm very, very, very curious about this one. It looks very, I don't know, and it's only gotten a couple thousand views.
When are we going to Sydney to watch it?
Oh God, soon, because I
June?
think it's soon. Yeah, June, right?
Great.
Yeah, we'll go there. We'll have an adventure.
That's right.
We'll
And it
get
turns
killed
out
by kangaroos.
It turns out to be that guy's basement, the guy who's in the movie. It's like his film festival. Yeah.
Oh yeah, his name is Sydney,
His name
and
is
he is in Sydney. Yeah,
It's like, well, great. Okay.
yeah, and we're just in this fucking.
Glad we did
let's
this.
Go get murdered by this guy.
Glad we did it. Bond o'clock.
I'd be glad.
Yeah.
I want that. I want that for
know you
us.
do.
Bird eater. One word.
Incredible name.
Yeah.
A name that I can read it.
Again,
Like,
it's
Dave's
like-
gonna love that. you
Yeah,
know?
and it's like that's such a. It just has such a threatening
Fucking
word. It's
bird
like
eater. Yeah.
bird eater. What a terrifying
Yeah.
combination of words.
Right.
Yeah,
Nothing
so, like-
poetic or nothing joyful about it. Just
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no cats in this movie, so we can only conclude that the bird eater is not going to be an animal. It's going to be one of these dudes, probably.
they're eating a bird. Or
Yeah, they
or
better.
my name isn't Adam Ganser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
the fucking
Yeah.
penguin in
Yeah.
Batman Returns.
oh boy. Yeah.
hmm
Eat that penguin.
That's a movie.
Yeah. Oh, that umbrella wise alone, that movie deserves to be remembered again.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's some real umbrella work in that one.
there really is.
Yeah. Also, kind of an underrated Michelle Pfeiffer performance at this point.
She's great.
She's really
great.
good in it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Real good.
She's a real, she's Catwoman, man.
Yeah.
She's great.
I like the crazy scene. Like the
Oh,
one
yeah.
where she really loses her mind. I really like that scene.
Yeah. Everybody check out Batman Returns.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good
good.
Did you know he
Um,
almost made a third one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he almost he was like again, like Nolan, it was like he was going to make a trilogy and then like I guess some shit went down between him and the studio and they were like, "Nope, back to base."
Never make a third one.
Yeah.
Never make a third one.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 has proven that.
Yeah.
Just to make 2 and then go, I'm done making these.
Yeah. Although it wasn't No Way Home the third of the current Spider-Man trilogy. That was a
Yeah.
good movie.
It was fine.
Yeah,
I
the-
watched it again. It's fine. It's fine. I'm
Dave,
not gonna shit on No Way Home.
I have offered you the the most bone right now. Like I've given
The
you a Marvel
most bone?
Yeah, a Marvel movie that you and I both could say we liked, and you no butted it. You did not yes and it. You're
I'm
like,
sorry,
no,
I didn't know
I
I
don't
needed
like
to
that
take
Marvel
your
movie.
bone.
Please, when I offer you a bone, Dave, grasp it joyfully.
Yeah, I'll
Could
take
you?
your bone.
Thank you.
Holy shit.
Thank you.
Adam, thank you so much for being on.
Hey, you're my pleasure.
Do you wanna plug a thing?
Yeah,
at the
I'm
end?
happy to remind you all again about my ongoing video game podcast series with Michael Swaim, One Upsmanship, which is available on the Small Beans Patreon. That and many other shows that I am lucky enough to be a part of, like Escape from the Multicurse, that has some Tom in it.
Ooh.
And Director Piece Theater, that has some Abe in it.
Ooh.
And I'll show you mine if you show me yours. That has some Maggie in it.
Ooh.
And I want to say I do another podcast. Oh yeah, Abe and I might do a Cowboy Bebop podcast. We're
Oh, fuck.
we're really fucking toying around with it.
You nerds.
Yeah, called See a Space Pod Boy. Can you
Do
fucking
it.
imagine that? Oh, I'm
Do
all
it.
in.
I can imagine it.
Yeah, Abe's reluctant because he's not quite fully in
not a
space with me
bebopper?
yet. Yeah, get him the fuck out there.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that's happening. So enjoy all that shit.
Everybody enjoy that shit.
Enjoy
It's
that
great
shit. It's really good.
Um,
Put it in your cup and drink it.
Yeah, put that shit
Put
in
that
your
shit
cup.
in your cup. Take a sip.
Gulp it. Gulp
Gulp.
it down.
Gulp the shit I gave you.
I'm going to tell people about our Patreon real quick.
Great.
Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. GAMEFULLY unemployed. We watch movies every Friday night with our patrons and then other things. We also have, if you go to gamefullyunemployed.com, you can get access to our store where we have like store stuff, merchandise. It's short for merchandise, merch, like you would like if you were a band,
Yeah.
or like a
Yeah.
thing, like if you want like a shirt that represents us, that's where you go.
You should.
Merchandise.
I feel like at this point you guys should have like album covers and shit for like seasons of your
Oh, yeah,
Patreon.
you're right.
Yeah.
We should sell some of our fucking album art.
Yeah.
You're right.
Just Dave the album,
Mm-hmm.
That'd be thrilling.
Mm-hmm. We
That'd
should
be
do a spoken word thing.
Dude,
Is that what podcasts are?
I'm grasping your bone right now. I'm grasping it.
Oh, get that bone.
I'm grasping that bone.
All right. Well, say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.